Hello to the void of the internet. I'm Kate Melgoza, and this is No Interruptions. Welcome to the very first No Interruptions video. With that said, we're just gonna get right into it. Today we're talking about Jane's Revenge. What is Jane's Revenge, you might ask? And no, it is not Blackbeard's ship, but it is so much more deadly. So Jane's Revenge is a extremist group that is pro-abortion, and lately they've been doing quite a bit of vandalism, which apparently now is called activism. Who knew, right? And on that same subject of abortion, we're talking about a Washington Post article that came out a few days ago about a young mother and her newborn twins. Most recently, Jane's Revenge has been targeting pregnancy centers in Des Moines and also the Agape Pregnancy Center, which is a Christian pregnancy center. So the things that they've been doing at these pregnancy resource centers is vandalizing property, obviously, so throwing Molotov cocktails, committing arson, breaking windows, damaging property, and making all kinds of threats. They've also been writing very creepy messages on the walls of the building. Messages like "God loves abortions" and "fake clinic," and threats like "if abortions aren't safe, you aren't either." What? Safe for who? First of all, not the baby, we know that. But if you're saying it's safe for the mom, there's been some debate about that too. But for now, we're just going to talk about Jane's Revenge, what they've been up to, and how it's helping their cause. Or is it? When Jane's Revenge was asked about the vandalism, they accepted responsibility for it, like, gladly, saying it was, quote, fun and easy. They also argued that Agape and other crisis pregnancy centers lie to shame and manipulate people into not getting abortions. Which is actually, like, kind of hilarious because that's exactly what Planned Parenthood abortion clinics do. Just saying. But yes, pregnancy centers who supply struggling women with supplies they need to raise a child or resources they need to find adoption centers to give their child to once they have it, those are the people who are the problem, clearly. By the way, when we're on the subject of manipulating women into getting or not getting abortions, let's just think about the culture that is surrounding women who are pregnant outside of wedlock or women who are just not financially stable enough to raise a child. And I can say this for my generation too, because I'm a part of it, that growing up, it's instilled in your brain that if you get pregnant when, you're too young or you're not married or all this other stuff, that's a disaster for you. Like, your life is ruined. And that is the culture that shames women into getting abortions, covering it up, pretending like it never happened. And that's exactly what the abortion industry is doing. Meanwhile, crisis pregnancy centers are helping these women, giving them supplies that they need, giving them resources they need to be able to succeed with that child. P.S. The term fake clinic is also kind of ironic, especially because quote-unquote doctors are supposed to do no harm, first of all, which is exactly the opposite of what happens during an abortion. So if you didn't know what Jane's Revenge was, now you do. I'm gonna post some links below so that you can check out for yourself what exactly they've been up to recently. Moving on to the Washington Post article. This article was published June 20th, so 2 days ago. This article is titled, "This Texas Teen Wanted an Abortion. She Now Has Twins." Subheading says Brooke Alexander found out she was pregnant 48 hours before the Texas abortion ban took effect. Okay. So basically this teen mom, she got pregnant and she didn't realize it, and she found out right before the heartbeat bill went into effect. So throughout this article, it's a very interesting article and you should really read it. But let's just put things into perspective here for a second. She has all of these pictures of this young girl, her name's Brooke, and her twins, and she's taking care of the twins. And in this paragraph, like, surrounding this photo, I'm just gonna read you a part of it because it's really weird. Okay, so this part says, sometimes Brooke imagined her life if she hadn't gotten pregnant, and if Texas hadn't banned abortion just days after she decided that she wanted one. She would have been in school, rushing from class to her shift at Texas Roadhouse, eyes on real estate license that would finally get her out of Corpus Christi. She pictured an apartment in Austin and enough money for a trip to Hawaii, where she would swim with dolphins in water so clear she could see her toes. Okay, so this author puts this picture up of a young mom and her wiggling babies. And she decides to put a paragraph about how this mom really wished she could have killed these kids so that she could go swimming in clear water, because she can't do that now. Absolutely not. And just to be clear, I'm not saying that motherhood is easy or that, there aren't certain challenges that go with pregnancy, especially when you're very young, like this girl. But to publish an article, a really condescending article, by the way, about a teen mom who is very vulnerable, and to have pictures of her and her newborn babies talking about how she really wished she could have aborted them is kind of evil, to be honest. This is the exact narrative that I'm talking about, where the abortion industry frames stories like this into something where the mother is miserable. She's always going to be miserable because she has had these children. She can never be happy. She can never do the things that she wants to do. And that is manipulative. That's how you manipulate people into being scared when they get pregnant, into going to an abortion clinic. This is the exact kind of manipulation that Jane's Revenge was talking about earlier, except pointing to pregnancy centers who actually help women like Brooke. Okay, at another part of the article, and this is another juicy part, so prepare yourself. Later, while this young girl is at the clinic, she's with her mom, and she's talking to this devout Christian lady who is telling her about the risks of abortion. Internal bleeding, cramping, death. That has happened, by the way, as no one likes to point out. All the complications that go along with abortion. But this young girl's mom tells her that she should go ahead with it because, when she was young, she got pregnant at 20, and she really wished the timing had been different because she could have done all of these things with her career if she hadn't had a kid. But because she had that kid, her career has been not great. Okay, let's just think about this for a second. This girl's mom is telling her that she wished she hadn't had her so that she could have had a better career. Her mom is telling her that she really wished that she had had an abortion instead of having her daughter. Like, how could you say that to your kid? Yeah, I really wish that I had aborted you because I could have been a prosecutor, a really successful one. This is the culture that I'm talking about, guys. A culture where it is normalized to think of people as some kind of disposable thing that if it doesn't line up with your timing, then it doesn't line up with your timing and you can just do whatever you want. And finally, towards the end of the article, we hear more about this young girl Brooke's conversation with this Christian woman who is talking to her about the other options, like pregnancy resource centers. And Brooke decides that she's going to go to those, and discovers that these pregnancy resource centers actually give people stuff like diapers, like supplies, like parenting training classes, other resources. Again, a crisis pregnancy resource center. This article, the last thing that I'm going to say about this article is that honestly, I find it kind of revolting and disgraceful. And that is because, this author just tries again and again to play the pity card, to play the card where, now this young girl can't do anything with her life and blah, 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 blah. And that is so not true. Stop telling people that. Stop telling people that their lives are over when and if they have a baby. It's just not true. It might have been in the 1800s maybe if you weren't married, but not now. Yes, it's still a serious thing. Yes, it's still a life change. But guess what? We have way more resources now. Way more. And also the same people like this author who are insinuating that this young girl's life would have been so much better. She could have done so many more things if she hadn't had these two beautiful babies, if she could have aborted them right before the law was passed. Those are the same people that are supporting groups like Jane's Revenge, who are going around destroying the resources that are out there to help women like her. It's so inconsistent and so frustrating. So I've linked lots of things below. Go do some reading, get a well-rounded view for yourself on how inconsistent this abortion industry framing is. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.
It's Naomi Wolf of Daily Clout, and I am asking you to please, if you like the video you just saw, support us, become a member, donate. You can send checks to P.O. Box 24, Millerton, New York, 12546, or go to Daily Clout, DAILYCLOUT, become a member or donate. Thank you so much for your support. Every penny goes for paying our hardworking staff, paying hosting costs, and paying our lawyers who have been leading the fight to keep you safe and free, to keep the Constitution safe and to keep you free. Thank you so much.